All right, what's up, guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2020 Aston Martin Vantage. Up front is a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Aston Martin Vantage for two reasons. First of all, this is the first Aston Martin ever featured on the channel, so I appreciate the owner, Andy, for giving me that opportunity. But the second reason is the fact that I think it's glorious. It sounds incredibly glorious, and I am so excited to share this with you. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a little form. I come out to you, and it's pretty quick and easy. But let's get back to that 4.0-liter twin-turbo under the hood. Well, that is actually a Mercedes-AMG engine, and it barks and bites just like one. Now, the Mercedes-ness actually ends after that. ECUs, all of that stuff is actually Aston Martin in-house stuff. And so, with that Mercedes engine, it's actually a lot more reliable than the outgoing Vantages, which is definitely nice to see. However, there is, of course, a V12 Vantage option. It's gonna have wider rear fenders, it's gonna have a different hood, and so those are some of the calling cards. You can get a V12, but this is the V8 here today. I'm okay with just the V8. And that's not even the loud mode. The loud mode gets louder. Now, it does have an aftermarket exhaust on it, but, you know, who cares? Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic. However, you could find these in 7-speed manuals if you wanted. I'm happy with this automatic. It is shifting incredibly quick here today. It's doing everything I could ever want it to do, and I love it. It just shut off. That is the auto start stop. We're gonna keep that off. Last but not least, of course, the Vantage is rear-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive an Aston Martin Vantage? Besides seeing the beautiful Aston Martin badge that we'll talk about later on, it actually drives really normally for a very special car. And that is part of Mercedes having that Mercedes-ness under the hood. It drives like any other AMG product that you would drive. It'll bark and snarl, and it's amazingly fun, but also at slow speeds, it's very civilized. The transmission isn't kicking you in the hip. The engine has the ability to be slow and to be thoughtful and to do all of these great things. So really, at the end of the day, it's pretty normal to drive, and I wasn't fully expecting that. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have digital gauges. I get this beautiful digital tachometer in front of me, as well as my fuel and coolant temperature to the left, my trip odometer and whatnot to the right, and some little icons for the suspension and vehicle settings. On the steering wheel on the left, we have our suspension settings as well as our microphone, mute, and volume. Off to the right, we have our sport mode button, home, and phone options. And then around the back of the steering wheel, we do have paddle shifters as well. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, gauge dimmer switch, and headlight settings down by my left knee. And moving on to the door, we have power mirrors, power windows, and trunk release. Again, really down low, kind of an interesting feeling there. Moving into the center, we do get a rather typical infotainment system. Nothing really too crazy here. And here's what the backup camera looks like in case you were curious. Down below that, we have two climate control vents, and then we have our climate controls, which this is a little intimidating to look at. There is quite a bit to look at. We have heated and ventilated seats to either side. We have auto climate and dual zone climate, as well as fan speed in the center. We have our dome lights and defrosters, as well as central locking all mixed in here. Not sure I love this, but if you're a big fan of buttons, guess what? There's even more down below. We have the shifter in the middle with the engine start-stop. Love that sort of crystal-looking engine start-stop button. Cannot get over that. That is lovely. The park, reverse, neutral, and drive buttons, and then we have a whole slew of buttons, so get ready with me here. Off to the left, we have our hazards, parking sensors, camera button, radio and media, and off to the right, we have our traction control, mute, auto start-stop, navigation, and telephone, and in the center, we get our volume and our selector dial for the infotainment screen. Mercedes fans might recognize this piece. Down below, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in in an Aston Martin Vantage. Unfortunately, it fails, but any vehicle of this caliber is going to fail. I then get a center console and the seats. The seats are really comfortable. They are leather. They have Aston Martin embroidered on them. They're black and red, which I think looks really, really cool. Adds a little bit of sportiness to a more classy vehicle, if that makes any sense. However, in order to move the seats, they are by your right knee. And when I got in the car, before I started filming, I was just driving, getting to my little filming spot, and I didn't realize my right leg was resting on the buttons. And so I was driving, and it was just inching me closer to the wheel, and I thought I was going to be crushed like the beginning of the movie Christine. It was very terrifying, and I didn't know why it was happening. So I was able to find those buttons pretty quickly because of that. Now, thank the Lord we don't have any back seats, so I don't have to try to cram myself back there, but we do have a trunk, so we will hop back there. You know, I have to say, just holding the key, it feels like it's made out of tungsten. It's kind of a heavy boy. All right, here we go. Trunk popper right here on the key fob. Pull it up here. Kind of a heavy trunk, but we do have some support helping out. And here's what you get. Now, there is this like little shelf back here, and you could fold this down. I don't know in what scenario would you be like, oh no, I can't fit it in the trunk. Now I can. Kind of weird there. Here's the trunk of an Aston Martin Vantage. Not a whole lot. It's not really great for IKEA trips per se, but I'm still gonna take the Aston Martin to the IKEA. Why not? That's it. That's literally it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing else to show you. Now we gotta talk about the looks. And although this is a pretty big departure from more standard, more traditional Aston Martins that came before it, I absolutely love the look. It really does look special and unlike anything else out on the road. I don't think that this could really be mistaken for many other cars, and that's a very good thing. Of course, I love that little tail end. I think it's just one of the coolest looking cars. And so let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving not only my first Aston Martin on the channel, but a V8 Vantage? Well, I've had a very positive experience. First of all, in talking to the owner, he daily drives this car. This is his daily driver, which I think is the coolest thing in the world, A. But B, he's owned other Vantages in the past, and he said, bar none, this is the most reliable one he's had. And that's a great thing to see. Not only can you have that awesome James Bond feeling every day, but you can have it every day without driving it to the shop every day, which is great. But let's get back to that James Bond feeling. There's just something special about Aston Martin, and I don't understand why other car makers haven't been able to capture that feeling as well as Aston Martin has. There's a classiness, there's a subtle, unspoken beauty that comes with that Aston Martin name. And sure, yes, you can attribute that to the movie's James Bond. He's always in his tuxedo, shaken not stirred, the whole nine. But everything in here feels very elegant. It feels like it all has a purpose. It feels like it was put here for a reason. And that is absolutely wonderful. And then you see all that classiness, and then you put it into track mode. Oh my God! That bark is lethal! That is the Walter PPK of exhausts. Actually, no, I take that back. That is the bazooka of exhausts. Ugh. Now, like I said, it has had exhaust work done to it, but this car is just so good, and it's almost effortlessly good. I don't often think about Aston Martins, but they really truly are something special. There's an ambiance that I don't know other car makers have been able to replicate. Aston Martin makes you stand up a little bit taller, makes you speak a little bit more proper. And it definitely keeps your elbows off the table. This car is just, it's so good. And it's such almost a foreign delicacy too. And I am so jealous of the owner, Andy. He gets to drive this every day. Oh, his morning commutes have to be the most smile-inducing morning commutes on planet Earth. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Andy for letting me take out his Aston Martin Vantage. What an amazing, amazing opportunity. Andy has been absolutely wonderful to work with. I can't thank him enough for this chance. This is so cool. I was just so excited to show you guys an Aston Martin on the channel and finally check that box. Ferrari, Bentley, and McLaren, you're the only ones left, baby. We gotta make it happen. But for today, let's be thankful for the Aston Martin Vantage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.